If you happen to get locked out of your house or car, panic can quickly set in. Avoid this emergency from happening to you by knowing what to look for in a good locksmith and having the contact information with you whenever you go out. The following tips and tricks will teach you everything you need to know about locksmiths. Always get keys made by a locksmith that is close to your home. Sometimes keys are not calibrated correctly and they will not fit the lock in question. Going to someone too far means there will be a hassle if you have to take the keys back. Aim for a place that is a mile or two from where you live. At Lothian Locksmiths we cover many areas of the central belt, from Edinburgh through Livingston, Bathgate, Broxburn, Whitburn, Armadale, Ardrie, Coatbridge, and on to Glasgow. We are a local locksmiths company that have a team that is usually only a few minutes from you, with call-outs being attended to within 1 or less. Research a locksmith before you hire one. It's important to hire someone that is working for you. Some locksmiths are scammers and will make copies of your keys. Lothian Locksmiths prides itself as a family and locally run business. Our customers come first and often referred through friends and family, so you know you can trust us with your most important jobs. When a locksmith is replacing a lock for you, make sure that they are using a new one that is in a sealed package. It is the only way to be sure that they haven't made a duplicate. If they do, this means that they can gain access to your home whenever they like. Do not let the locksmith begin work until he or she has given you an estimate. Rather than simply getting a verbal estimate, insist that the locksmith write the quote down on paper. This way, you have proof of the number that you were quoted. As long as you agree with the price, work can commence at that point. You want to be sure that you get a receipt once you pay a locksmith. While most of the locksmiths you encounter will be honest, there are those few that try to scam others. That is why proof that they were completely paid is necessary. Keep your receipt safe should questions about payment come up. Do not trust a locksmith that gives you a quote that is far less than any others you have contacted. In some cases, this is done with the intention of reeling you in. Once they begin to service you, they will start to add on additional fees for things like paperwork and the fuel they use to get to where you are. When you are looking to have a locksmith install a new lock, ask them to use one that has high security. These cost a bit more, but they will keep you a lot safer than traditional locks. You need to show an ID card as well as a card provided by the locksmith in order to have duplicate keys made. Though you surely want a great price, you also may get what you pay for when you go too cheap. Sometimes this means that the person is not qualified to do the job they have been hired for. Get multiple estimates, throw out the high and the low number, and choose one of the mid-range quotes. When searching for a reputable locksmith company, discuss any additional charges for the work you are having done. Some companies will charge significantly more for excessive mileage and emergency hours. They could also have a service call minimum, where you may pay them over £50 for 2 minutes of work. Before you hire a locksmith, ask them about any additional fees you may face. While their low cost of replacing a lock may seem great, those fees can turn it into an expensive venture. There may be a charge for coming to do the work quickly, the time of day it is, or even mileage. Call roadside assistance before calling a locksmith. They may offer you their own locksmithing services, or they can refer you to a trustworthy local professional. If you don't have roadside assistance, call your insurance company, as they may offer similar services or references. Regardless, they'll know who you can call. A locksmith is usually associated with home and car locks, but keep in mind that they can be called if you are having problems accessing a safe. You will have to provide solid proof that you are indeed the owner of the safe, but they will certainly help you gain access. Do your research prior to having an issue. There are often many locksmith options around town, and the last thing you want to do is not know your best option when you need help now. Ask around. Talk to your local friends about who they use. See if there are any ratings or reviews online. Do it now before there's an issue. Make sure that the price you were quoted on the phone closely matches the price you are being given on site. There are a lot of scams out there, and this bait and switch is one of them. It's best to vet locksmiths before an emergency even happens, just to make sure you don't get into this scenario. Ask your locksmith to bring a written estimate with them. In order for it to be accurate, give them all the details you can think of. Tell them if you are locked out with a deadbolt or a knob lock, or how many windows you would like locks installed on. Be exacting. Hire locksmiths only when you must, because they can be expensive. If you just want to change locks, you can do that without a locksmith. If you're totally unable to handle this, then call a locksmith. Don't narrow your list down to just one locksmith. The person you consider the best may be busy on another job when you need them in an emergency. If you have some other options you consider trustworthy, you'll be able to bring in someone right when you need them the most. Nobody wants to be locked out of their home, car or office. But they don't want to leave themselves at the mercy of just any old locksmith either. Use these tips to know what to look for and to be prepared. The effort you take will be well worth the security you get. We hope that you have found this information useful. If you would like to know more or are in need of a dependable and trustworthy locksmith that is based in West Lothian, Edinburgh and Glasgow areas, check out our website at lothianlocksmiths.com.